Imagine a world where your deepest thoughts are no longer just yours, where telepathy isn't a figment of sci-fi imagination but a stark reality. In this world, the secrets of your mind are an open book, accessible to anyone endowed with this extraordinary ability. What would that mean for us as a society? Envision a world devoid of privacy. Governments grapple with the implications, drafting new laws to secure the sanctity of thought. Businesses wrestle with a new ethical landscape, where honesty is no longer a virtue, but a necessity. And what about us, the individuals? We navigate a terrain where our every thought is exposed, where honesty is the only option. Relationships deepen with empathy, built on shared emotions, shared thoughts. But they also crumble under the weight of exposed secrets, unfiltered emotions. In a world so openly connected, honesty becomes the only policy and empathy the new currency. How would our jobs adapt in a world where minds are open books? Let's ponder on that. In professions like counseling, a seismic shift would occur. Counselors would no longer rely on verbal cues and body language alone. Access to direct, unfiltered thoughts would allow them to understand their clients on a profound level and tailor their advice accordingly. The realm of education would transform too. Imagine telepathic teaching methods where knowledge is directly transferred from teacher to student, enhancing the learning process dramatically. The classroom dynamics would be redefined, as every student's understanding or confusion would be clear as daylight to the educator. But what about our economy? Transparent negotiations could level the playing field in business transactions, but they also pose challenges. How do you negotiate when your strategy is an open book? And let's not forget about advertising. Ethical considerations would take center stage as companies grapple with the balance between persuasion and invasive thought manipulation. In such a world, the economy and professions would have to evolve, adapting to a new reality of transparency and openness. What would politics look like when thoughts become public? Imagine a revolution in politics where the thoughts of leaders are laid bare for all to see. No more hidden agendas or backroom deals. But this transparency could also weaponize thoughts, allowing sophisticated manipulation of public opinion with a newfound subtlety. In this brave new world, cultural norms would shift dramatically. Empathy, once a virtue, now becomes a societal norm as we feel and understand the thoughts of others. But with this newfound empathy comes new forms of prejudice. Discrimination would no longer be based on race, religion, or gender. Instead, it would be based on thoughts, the deepest, most private parts of our identity. This could spark a new kind of prejudice, rooted in the very thoughts that make us human. So how would we navigate this new terrain? How would we reconcile the benefits of empathy with the potential for thought-based discrimination? In a world where thoughts are public, the political landscape would transform and new cultural norms would emerge. How would individual lives change when personal boundaries blur? That's the question we're grappling with in a world where minds are no longer private. Emotional intimacy would reach new heights as we'd experience not only our own emotions but also those of others. This would bring us closer, but also require careful navigation to maintain balance and sanity. We'd need to develop new coping mechanisms to handle this flood of thoughts and emotions. Just imagine the constant barrage of ideas, fears, hopes, and desires from others pouring into your consciousness. It would be like learning to swim in a sea of thoughts. Ethical debates around this new reality would reach a fever pitch. Issues of consent, autonomy, and personal freedoms would take center stage. Who gets to access your thoughts? When is it acceptable to delve into another's mind? And to what extent should this telepathic ability be regulated? In a reality where minds are open, individual lives would change drastically and ethical dilemmas would become more complex. So, what does a world of telepathy promise us? It's a world where the secrets of your mind are no longer hidden. A society where honesty is the only option, where relationships deepen and sometimes crumble under the weight of exposed secrets. It's a world where professions like counseling evolve and education transforms, yet the economic landscape faces challenges due to transparent negotiations. Imagine politicians facing a revolution as their thoughts become public, where manipulation of public opinion becomes even more insidious while cultural norms shift. Empathy flourishes, but a new form of prejudice emerges based on thoughts. In this world, personal boundaries blur, intensifying emotional intimacy but demanding careful navigation. Ethical debates intensify around consent, autonomy, and personal freedoms. Philosophical discussions on privacy and identity redefine traditional beliefs. In the end, the reality of telepathy would demand a delicate balance, fostering collective harmony while respecting individual minds. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to Imaginary World.